Imagine living in a country where a simple hug could get you arrested. Not violence, not theft, a hug. Holding the wrong person's hand in public can be considered a crime. But here's the strange part. This same country once helped shape one of the earliest ideas of human rights in history. A civilization that once celebrated freedom now enforces some of the strictest social rules on Earth. This is the story of Iran, a nation caught between two identities. And to understand why, we have to travel back more than 2,500 years. Long before the modern state existed, this land was known as Persia. And Persia was not just another kingdom. It was one of the most powerful empires the world had ever seen. It was built by a ruler named Cyrus the Great. His empire stretched across vast territories, connecting cultures and civilizations. But what made Cyrus different from many conquerors was not only his power, it was his philosophy. Historical records describe policies that promoted religious freedom and cultural tolerance. People conquered by Persia were often allowed to keep their traditions, their beliefs, and their ways of life. For centuries, Persia became a center of knowledge. Scientists studied the stars. Poets wrote verses that would survive for generations. Philosophers debated ideas about life, truth, and morality. But history rarely moves in a straight line. Empires rise and eventually fall. Foreign invasions reshaped the region. New religions arrived, new rulers emerged. Yet through it all, Persian culture survived. Until one moment in the 20th century changed the direction of the country forever. That moment came in 1979. In 1979, a revolution swept across Iran. The monarchy collapsed, and a new system replaced it. Instead of a king, the country became an Islamic Republic led by religious authorities. The goal was to reshape society according to religious principles. Laws changed, public behavior changed, and everyday life began to follow a new set of rules. In public spaces, interactions between unrelated men and women became tightly restricted. Simple gestures common in many parts of the world, like hugging or holding hands, can attract legal consequences. Even a handshake between unrelated men and women can be discouraged. Clothing laws also became part of public life. Women are required to wear the hijab in public spaces. Authorities say the rule protects cultural and religious values. Others argue it limits personal freedom. To enforce these rules, special units monitor public behavior and dress. These patrols observe public spaces and intervene when they believe rules are being violated. Supporters see this system as protecting moral values. Critics see it as strict social control. But what happens when public rules collide with private life? Because behind closed doors, a different side of Iran quietly exists. When night falls and doors close, a different atmosphere can appear. Inside private homes, many Iranians live in ways that look very different from the strict public image. Music plays, friends gather. Clothing becomes more relaxed. For a few hours, the pressure of public rules fades away. Although alcohol is officially banned, underground production and smuggling still exist. Satellite television, which has faced restrictions at different times, is sometimes hidden from public view. Through these dishes, families watch international movies, news, and entertainment. Young people follow global trends. Fashion, music, and ideas from around the world flow quietly into living rooms. The internet has made this even harder to control. Many Iranians use tools like VPNs to access blocked websites and global platforms. With just a phone and a connection, people can see how others live across the world. And sometimes, they share their own lives in return. But the digital world is not just entertainment. For many young people, it has become a form of expression. Today, the most powerful tool in modern Iran might be something small enough to fit in a pocket: a smartphone. In private spaces, sometimes even inside cars, where couples often find more privacy, young people record videos of themselves singing, dancing, or sharing thoughts. Some of those videos end up online, sometimes anonymously, sometimes openly. Each upload becomes a message to the outside world, a glimpse into a generation that grew up connected to global culture. Encrypted messaging apps allow conversations that once would have been impossible. Ideas travel quickly, communities form online, and the distance between Iran and the rest of the world feels smaller than ever. But this creates a new tension, because when information flows freely, control becomes more difficult. Iran today is a nation balancing two realities. One is the official public structure of laws and rules. The other is the private world where millions of people explore culture, creativity, and ideas in their own way. A civilization with thousands of years of history now faces questions about its future. More than 85 million people live within its borders. A large portion of them are young, connected, curious about the wider world. History shows that societies constantly evolve. Ideas change. Generations grow up with new perspectives. So the real question is not just about laws or politics. The deeper question is this: can a country permanently control how people think, dream, and express themselves? Or will the next generation reshape the future in ways no one can fully predict? Iran's story is still being written, and the next chapter may already be, but if this story surprised you, it means the world is often more complex than it first appears. Iran is just one example of how history, culture, and modern life can collide in unexpected ways. And there are many more stories like this waiting to be uncovered. So if you enjoy deep, thought-provoking documentaries that reveal the hidden realities behind countries, history, money, and power, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the next story might change the way you see the world. Ijinning.